Hi, Michelle. I'm so delighted that you've been able to join us today. And I'd love to find out a little bit more about your adventure. You seem to be living the dream. So I've got all sorts of questions for you today, if that's okay, about how you have managed to live abroad and relocate. So, for people who don't know you, just a quick introduction. Gordon, I believe you've been in this business for 26 years, and prior to that, you were an accountant. And Michelle, you've been in this business for 16 years, and you were, and I think still are, looking by the looks of you, a beauty therapist, beautician, yoga teacher, so very much into health and fitness. So
Ah,
quite different backgrounds.
yeah. Totally. Probably couldn't
Okay.
be more different.
No, no, and actually, that's what's really helpful for people like me who are up and coming in this business, and for our team members as well, because this really is, it seems, a business for so many people, for such a wide variety of people. So, Gordon, can we start with you and tell us how you came from accounting to a business like this? What made you make that change from a job that's respectable and secure, and a job for life? Why did you change?
Good question, actually. And I think that people come to our business for a reason, and the timing has to be right. And for me, whilst I had a good job, a secure job, um, I wasn't enjoying what I was doing because I had no time. I had no time to enjoy the fruits of my success, if you like. I had a young family. I used to get up and go to work before they were up in the morning, come back, and I was actually, they were in bed by the time I came back some evenings, and I never saw them. And at weekends, I was probably kind of too shattered to do a lot of things, and it just wasn't the kind of life that I was looking for. So perhaps I was at a crossroads in my life, and that's what I see with a lot of people, that they come into this business and they're at a crossroads in their life. And I was looking for something else. And a friend of mine who actually was an accountant as well, I heard that he'd actually been made redundant from his job, and with this payout, he'd actually joined a company that nobody'd heard of and all the rest of it. So I phoned him up out of curiosity more than anything else. And to cut a long story short, he invited me along to a meeting. He let me kind of use the products and try the products before I came. So I had very much an open mind to the business, if you like, potential that I was going to get involved with. And it was at that meeting that I kind of met a lot of people. I saw a lot of people. I heard a lot of stories. And it was the stories that captivated me most of all. And what I heard, and this was the kind of message that I had in my brain, was that here was a way of working 3 to 5 years, hard work, either part-time, alongside what you did, but basically to generate a residual income for the rest of your life. And that was the kind of vision that I created for myself. And listen, I'm glad to say 26 years later, I'm here to kind of prove that it has worked. And during that time, my children, who were very young at that stage, I've watched them grow up. I've been by their side. I tell people that I've been by their side when they played rugby on a Wednesday afternoon. I was the only dad that actually stood on the touchline, and I had to educate all these mothers about rugby, because all the dads were actually working hard to pay for the private school education. And that's what I chose to do with my money. I actually privately educated my children. So, I've got a lot to be thankful for what the business has given us and the opportunity. And, I'm still excited about the future. And, well, we know where we are today, so that's what we're talking about. So that's
That's
my story.
absolutely amazing. That really is, and wise words from an accountant about how to manage our money properly. I think people often have a false sense of security with this idea of a job for life, whereas it seems that you've built your own business that's given you the flexibility and a degree of certainty. You've obviously, if you've been in the business 26 years, and in fact you, Michelle, in 16 years, you've come through the recession, whereas lots of people who supposedly had the job for life in 2008, they came unstuck. So you've perhaps got more security for having taken the risk in the first place of making that big change.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, tell us what you've done, because you're a particular inspiration to me. As you know, I'm a therapist as well, and get stuck in this mindset of working time for money. You know, if we have customers and patients in front of us, we get paid. If we don't have an income. And yet somehow you've managed to turn that around, and you have time freedom, financial freedom, and now, as we're coming in onto, geographic freedom as well. So can you tell me a little bit about how you've got there and why?
Yes, like you, as you say, I loved what I did. You know, working as a beauty therapist, hands on, I loved it. I loved helping my clients, and that was my passion. You know, helping them feel good about themselves. And you know, I went along to a meeting. You know, as Gordon said, he was invited to a meeting. I went along, and that was my aha moment, because it was understanding what we had to offer in terms of the products that made sense to me, and it was something in those days that I just saw it as, this was beauty from inside. I was only looking after my clients from the outside, but by recommending Juice Plus, I could look after them from the inside, and I knew that sort of that healthy, juicy glow would be reflected by what they were taking, and would almost sort of enhance the treatments that I was already doing for them. So it was the product that really sold me, and initially that was all I saw. Because I had my own business, I almost felt that I was too busy to take on another business. And it took probably several months until I went to a much, much bigger conference, which happened to be in Germany. And it was sitting in the audience, listening to people on stage, that I first got this idea of freedom. Because, you know, as much as I loved what I did, there was no freedom, certainly no time freedom. And, you know, as you said, going on holiday was an issue. You know, I was away. Not only was I not able to look after the clients, you know, that, gosh, where, you know, they were desperate for appointments. So for me to have more than a week was really difficult. I wasn't going to get paid. That was the other side of it. So, you know, I started to wake up to this idea that there is another way of doing business. And the more I understood about it, that, you know, when I ran my business, if I bought products in, you know, I had to order the products, I had to pay for those products, I had to sell those products. When I understood how this business worked, it was so easy. I wasn't outlaying, there was no outlay at all in terms of products. I could just recommend it, my clients could order the products, the company delivered the product directly to my client, the client in effect paid the company, and then the company paid me a small commission. So that was the one side of it that I got instantly. Yeah. Then the other side of actually building a network marketing business was what really got me excited. But I ran the two alongside each other. It wasn't like, you know, I do this or I do that. The two, I wrapped the Juice Plus business around my everyday business, around the salon. And I suppose then it got to a point where, you know, in terms of what I was earning financially, it was probably getting to roughly the same level. And that was, and the thing that really did it for me, I was actually having more fun with the Juice Plus business. Yeah. You know, I loved my hands-on work with my clients, but there was the headache of all the sort of the admin and just the headache that goes with running your own business. So then, you know, the involvement with the Juice Plus family was, you know, and the fun and the friendships that we made, it just got to a level that I knew I was wanting to spend more time doing it. So it was in some ways, it was a natural progression, you know, and it certainly wasn't something that I saw right from the very beginning, you know, running the business a long time until it got to that level of thinking, actually, this is what I want to do. So I then made the decision to spend more time doing it and then scaled back on the beauty therapy. So my beauty therapy became more of a part-time hobby that I was able to do from home. And then my other passion of yoga, you know, it kind of all just naturally wraps around each other because, you know, I believe it's all about, you know, for me, I want to inspire everybody about living a healthy lifestyle.
That's fantastic, because there's a few things that you've covered there, Michelle. One of the main things is, as a successful practitioner, and in fact, I believe you opened your first salon in 1981 in Bath, you had quite a reputation, quite a business reputation to uphold. And so recommending a product means that you had to be absolutely certain that it was a good quality product.
Absolutely. And you know, obviously I did my due diligence. I mean, it made sense to me instantly and I knew I wanted to take it. but it was the science behind the product. So as much as it was fantastic hearing all the testimonials about what the product had done for different people, at the end of the day, this was fruits and vegetables. And that was something that I really liked the idea of. You know, I wasn't a nutritionist at the time. I didn't have that nutritional qualification to recommend isolated vitamin supplements, but I could recommend a whole food supplement, which was fruits and vegetables. And then when I saw the science that was behind it, that was what really did it. And even in that very first meeting, the doctor that was giving the talk put a slide up, and it showed the levels of antioxidants and how significantly they were increased when somebody took Juice Plus for only 30 days. And that was my kind of, you know, that light bulb moment. That I like, that's what I'm looking for. That's what my clients need. That's what I need. And then the next slide showed how the lipid peroxides, or the precursors to free radical damage, were decreased by over 75%. So that was it.
Wow.
And then since, I mean, that was 16 years ago. And since then, we've now got over 35 scientific studies. So, you know, it's those studies that I think can give everybody that peace of mind that they, you know, they've got a really, really good product.
I think that's exactly what people need in this day and age, isn't it? They've got the science, they've got the testimonials, and they've got a simple solution online. But what I find particularly exciting now is that I know that over the last few years you've been overwintering in Portugal, which is great. I think getting away from the British winters is ideal for a lot of people. But there are a lot of people who can't see how you can get from getting a commission on the sale of some capsules to actually being financially free enough to make that move, to have the confidence to move to another country, start a new life there. How do you make that leap? And even for some people, such as myself, you're reasonably successful in the business, but you get stuck earning maybe a few £100s a month. You're using the business mostly for retail sales. How do you suddenly grow the business to get a really good income and to be able to relocate and live anywhere in the world?
Sorry. I couldn't speak at the same time. It's down to growing a team.
Yeah. And that's the key. You know, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 100% of your own efforts, or 1% of 100 people's efforts?
Or 1,000 people's effort.
Yeah.
Or
10,000 people's efforts.
The thing is with this business, there is no ceiling, and you can grow it as big as you want. And I think that's what's so exciting, is because, you know, you're up and coming. You can way bypass both of us. You can grow that business as big as you dare to dream.
Yeah.
And I think that is what's so exciting. There is no ceiling whatsoever.
And really, you know, you asked the question, how you do that. So, you know, our business is very simple, and the simplicity of it is that we share our stories. So, you know, you successfully share your product story to people. People, as a result, when they come for acupuncture or herbal recipes or massage, etc., you'll talk about nutrition and, you know, what they're doing. And as a result of that, they'll take the product. The other story that you need to get to start to share is your business story. And, you know, listen, a few £100 regularly this day and age is still worth a lot of money. You know, we're living in Portugal, and we have a lot of friends out here that are been out here a while, and they're living off of kind of rental incomes, they're living off pensions, etc., which are only kind of, you know, a few hundred, maybe £1,000, you know, on a regular basis. So, you know, making that transition in terms of the business and start sharing that business story with people, that's how it works. And then duplicating that within your organization is the key. And, you know, one of the things, if I was to give advice as to, you know, the kind of things that you should be doing, is that, you know, building a business that's very wide is going to kind of really give you the financial freedom that you're looking at. And building a business that's very deep will give you the security of income forevermore. And that's what we've done in many ways. And, you know, we all know now, with the advent of things like social media, that it's far easier to touch a lot of people and to get a lot of people, you know, to kind of have a following, if you like, that you can buy into. And that's what's going to start to kind of build you this financial freedom that we've seen over the last,
And it's looking at it as a game plan. It's a 3 to 5 year game plan. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not going to happen overnight. You've got to put the hard work in. But the great thing is, and probably begin when initially it can feel like you're working very hard for not a huge amount. But there's a point then when you've done that initial groundwork where that changes, when you're probably putting in less time and getting more from it.
So it's just reaching that tipping point, isn't it?
And it's critical mass. Simone, once you've got 5, 10, 15, 20 people in your organization and they're all working together to build their own dream, that's when you start to see massive results.
Yeah, and that's when it starts to really take shape. Yeah. And what you said actually, Gordon, was really interesting, is that you build the business wide and that gives you your financial income. So for a lot of people who may not know about financial freedom, the idea is that you've got enough passive income that covers the cost of your bills each month. So building it wide can do that, but building it deep, you're saying, is what gives you the security for the future. And I think that's particularly interesting for me. I'm going to be 50 next year, and I've got to start thinking about pensions and things like that. And it seems to me that a lot of people doing network marketing are younger. They're the young people who grasp the social media, who totally get it with the internet. And I wonder whether people in my age group are actually missing a trick, because we've been brought up with the idea of a job for life, and you work hard and then you get your salary, your paycheck at the end of the month. And maybe if more of us grasp the internet and the potential with doing things differently, then maybe we can have a kind of retirement in Portugal.
Well, for sure. And I recently read an article, and it was saying that a lot of the entrepreneurs that are coming through are the people that are in their late 50s and 60s, that have retired perhaps from a job or have been made redundant and find themselves that they can't get another job, and then have decided that now's the time to start up their own business. And social media and the internet, it allows them to do this and to be able to access this new entrepreneurial spirit that the younger generation seemingly have embraced. And, that's exciting as well. And, our own son has actually joined the business too. So we know that the internet is something that has been able to give him the ability to actually kind of join. And I'm sure Michelle will tell you his latest kind of adventure.
So Charlie joined the business. He decided, so he finished school last year and decided to have a gap year. And he's had a whale of a time. He's been to all sorts of different countries. And then he went skiing at the beginning of March. And we'd got a phone call after a few days to say, Mum, this is just the best. I'm having this amazing time, and I'm not going to come back. I'm just got myself a job. And that's what's so wonderful. He can still do Juice Plus wherever he is. And because he does do it so much online, it makes it very, very easy to continue to do it wherever you are. So,
well, that's really interesting, because actually one of my team members is a skiing instructor, and one of the reasons that she joined the business was because with seasonal work, you have the money during the winter if you're a ski instructor, but then what do you do in the summer? And as a result of that, she ended up coming back because she needed a more regular income. Yeah. So clearly there is the potential to grow your business, and now she's signed up and she's got the vision again of going back there, and in fact she went back at Christmas back to the ski resort. So there's the potential there, it seems, for people whatever their age, whatever their skills or abilities. If you want to live just in one country, if you want to emigrate, if you want to do 6 months here, 6 months there, it really seems like there's the flexibility here to have your financial freedom, your time freedom, as you were talking about, time to spend with family, and your geographic freedom to have an income wherever you are, so long as you've got internet access.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And here we are. I mean, we're in Portugal at the moment. We're on a Zoom call. The other night we did a Zoom call, and we had people from Spain, we had people from the UK, and people from Holland. And that is the greatest thing now, that the world is connected so much easier. We're in 27 different countries worldwide. You can choose any one of those countries potentially to actually kind of live in. And interestingly enough, you know, the actual kind of official, if you like, distribution from Portugal isn't open yet. So we're in a country that hasn't done to expand, and you know,
and you've still got an income from it.
The potential is so much greater as well, because we've got the opportunity to open that up and help to spearhead that. So you know, we're excited about the future just being here.
Wow.
The weather.
Gosh, so actually that's a really important point as well. So Portugal will open at some point in the future. There's already, is it 28 or 29 countries? I know Dubai opened, and in fact, 7 Emirates last year. So this is still a really growing business right around the world, wherever people want to live or to emigrate to or build teams in. It seems that it's going to be possible geographically wherever they are. Actually, Gordon, as the money man, I've got to ask you, a lot of people are worried about Brexit at the moment and their job security in the UK. So how do you see a franchise like this helping people if they're able to build teams not just in the UK but abroad as well?
Well, you know, you think about it. I mean, you know, you're actually going to be able to, although we get paid from the UK, so all the money that we earn will actually be translated back into pounds. But if you get paid as I do from 24 of the different countries that you operate in, you're actually getting a mix of different economies. And, you know, the exchange difference, it can be kind of, you know, in your favor. It can be sometimes against you. But longer term, you know, with the Brexit situation, I believe we will get back to a normality in terms of the exchange difference. But by actually building an international business like this, you know, you're going to spread your risk, if you like, across different countries. And, you know, bearing in mind, Simone, we are not in any of the major conurbations of the world. So we're not in South Africa, we're not in China. We're not in Russia, we're not in, you know, we're only just touching the Middle East. We've got a massive amount of growth to actually generate in the future to come. And, you know, I hope in the next 26 years that business will be generating, you know, income, and we will be enjoying the lifestyle that, you know, we're enjoying at the moment, and the freedom that we had.
Absolutely. So you, just to wrap everything up then, Gordon, it looks like you haven't got any regrets at leaving your accountancy behind and taking on this business. I wanted to ask you how your life is different, but I think you've explained it a lot. Okay. And Michelle, you know, tell us, you know, you're relocating now, aren't you, permanently to Portugal? Do you think that the Juice Plus business has played a role in that? Do you think you could have done it as a beautician if you didn't ever take on this business? And of course, you then wouldn't have met Gordon either, because you met through the business, didn't you?
No, we owe so much to the Juice Plus company. I mean, there is absolutely no way, you know, working as a beauty therapist, I would have to be there hands-on. This was just a pipe dream for so many years to live somewhere else. And it just would never have been possible. So, you know, it's not only have they played a small part, they've, you know, the biggest part. We met through the company, so together without that. I mean, we were both involved in the Juice Plus business. We were both single parents, so running independent franchises, and then met within the company. So we've been able to work together, you know, which is great as well. And we would not be here without.
That's amazing. And actually, it's interesting. I didn't realize you were both single parents. I was for 7 years as well, while I've been doing the business, because it just fits in so well, doesn't it? With all the other responsibilities that come along with being a single parent. It helps you manage your time much better than a regular job would.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at our team of distributors, I mean, everybody comes from a very diverse background. But what brings us all together is that common goal of wanting to make a difference. You know, everybody's so passionate, and I'd say, you know, I've got a team of passionate ambassadors. Everybody has taken the product, they've fallen in love with it, that they just want to go out and share those benefits with other people.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're building a business and now a lifestyle for themselves. So
Yeah.
it is available for absolutely everybody at whatever age, at whatever level.
Yeah. And you know, really, anyone can do this business. You don't have to be a special person, but you have to put in a special effort. There is still hard work to be done, but at the end of the day, as I said, you're compressing it down into a very much shorter timescale than you could do in any life and business that I know, without the risk. You know, there's no risk at all in terms of getting involved in something like this. So, you know, we're excited about the future. And what I think also that the business has given us is an ability to grow as people in terms of personal development. And, you know, the dream of what we've actually created, the reality of what we created was only a dream, but it's that personal development that's helped us push all the way through. The easiest thing for us to do was to not come over here. The hardest thing to do was actually to kind of sell our kind of house and turn our back on the UK to actually come down here, because this is uncomfortable to start with.
Yeah.
It's that personal development mentality.
That saying, isn't it? You have to step out of the comfort zone.
Exactly.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
And it's very easy not to. But you know what? We've got some other members, some team members that are doing exactly the same. They've moved down to Spain. They've taken a family and their 2 little children. So,
wow.
And we've got another couple that are actually traveling the world.
So it just shows what's really possible. And the other thing that you've shown me actually is that this is really personally fulfilling as well. It's not just financially rewarding, but personally fulfilling. You speak with great pride watching your team come along and seeing their successes.
That is the biggest thing now.
Totally.
I mean, it's now seeing everybody else, yourself and the rest of the team hit your, you know, we know what you want to achieve. And when we see you hit those milestones, it's it's even bigger and better than it felt for us doing it for ourselves. There's something so much better helping other people to achieve it.
Yeah, it's like climbing a mountain. You know, once we get to the top, the view is fantastic. We know the only way that we can help other people is by helping them get to the top and sharing that view with us. So, you know, that's our mission now. And, you know, we're working as hard as we ever did before in different ways. And it's that concentrated effort that we still put in that will generate the success and the longevity of the business forever, hopefully.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's, you know, it's really inspirational. And I think from my personal perspective, you're living proof now that it is, not only is it possible to do that, but also what I've thought of with this business is that there's no glass ceiling. There's nothing stopping anybody. And the fact that I've been in the business for a couple of years, I can interview you. You've been in the business for decades. You know, what is it, 36? No, I don't know how many years between you. It's
42.
Yeah, 42 years between you. I mean, and, you know, when I worked for other multinational companies, shall I say, I didn't get to meet the people at the top. Let's just put it like that. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say thank you very much for your inspiration and for the advice that you've given.
Oh, thank you. And thanks so much for asking us.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.